The Las Vegas Raiders are facing a pivotal moment in their quarterback room, and it could be one of the most intriguing storylines this season. With Aiden O'Connell sidelined for 6 to 8 weeks due to a fractured wrist, the Silver and Black suddenly find themselves in a position where depth and experience at the most critical position on the field become absolutely essential. The team had envisioned a quarterback hierarchy that included Geno Smith as the starter, O'Connell as a reliable backup, and Cam Miller developing into a future option. But now all of that has shifted. Suddenly, the Raiders are in the market for someone who can step in and manage an NFL game effectively if needed. Someone with enough knowledge of the pro game to avoid costly mistakes and enough athleticism to handle the nuances of Chip Kelly's offense. Pete Carroll hasn't been shy about discussing this publicly, emphasizing the search for a quarterback with experience, someone who has played real games and can provide immediate stability. It's not about shaking up the starter role or taking Geno Smith's job. It's about protecting the team from disaster. Carroll's words suggest that the Raiders are casting a wide net, looking for anyone who fits the profile. That could mean free agents who are suddenly available, quarterbacks released by other teams as rosters get trimmed, or even veterans looking for a fresh start. The goal is simple. Ensure that if the unthinkable happens, the team doesn't crumble at the most important position in football. Experience is the key word here. The Raiders are not searching for potential or hype. They want a player who has been in the trenches, someone who has seen the NFL up close and knows how to handle the pace, pressure, and preparation that come with playing at this level. O'Connell, despite being young, has already logged 20 games and 17 starts, which is valuable, but the Raiders now need a player who can immediately adapt, someone who understands reading defenses, timing routes, and executing under duress. This need for experience is what separates a developmental prospect from a true insurance policy, and it's why Carroll repeatedly emphasizes game experience over raw talent or potential upside. Names immediately start coming to mind when thinking about quarterbacks who might fit this profile. Tyler Huntley, for example, just recently became available after a brief stint with Cleveland. He's a mobile quarterback, and mobility is not just a luxury in Kelly's offense. It's an essential trait. While Huntley's career stats might not scream elite, his ability to make plays both with his arm and his legs provides flexibility. He has accumulated 25 games of experience, including 14 starts, giving him the kind of live-action seasoning that Carroll is clearly prioritizing. A player like Huntley could step into the backup role, provide some relief for Geno, and be ready to manage the offense without overcomplicating things. It's not flashy, but it's reliable, and reliability is exactly what the Raiders need right now. Then there's Dorian Thompson-Robinson, a name that generates interest primarily because of his past connection with Chip Kelly at UCLA. Thompson-Robinson brings a unique dual-threat skill set, having amassed over 10,000 passing yards and more than 80 passing touchdowns in college, alongside an impressive rushing touchdown tally. On paper, his stats showcase a quarterback capable of impacting the game in multiple ways. Yet his NFL career has been rocky. 1 touchdown and 10 interceptions highlight the struggles he's faced translating college success to the pro level. Despite these challenges, the familiarity factor with Kelly and his local ties to Las Vegas make him an intriguing option. The Raiders could view him as a high-upside, low-risk experiment, particularly if they believe that his struggles in the NFL were more about system fit than talent. Brett Rypien is another candidate worth considering. He recently became available after being released by Minnesota and brings some connections that matter in the Raiders' current coaching landscape. Rypien's experience is limited, but the relationships he shares with coaches like Kevin O'Connell and his exposure under Greg Olson in previous stops could make him an attractive option for a team that values familiarity and coaching synergy. He wouldn't necessarily be a long-term solution, but he represents a piece of stability, someone who can learn the offense quickly and provide coverage for the starter if needed. Arguably, the most compelling veteran option is Ryan Tannehill. Though he didn't see game action last season, his career includes 151 starts and more than 155 games played, giving him the kind of season perspective that Carroll is explicitly seeking. Tannehill's athleticism and adaptability make him a natural fit for Kelly's offensive approach, and his prior success indicates a player who can manage a game, protect the football, and make accurate throws under pressure. The potential cost is always a factor, but a player willing to accept a reasonable contract could bring the exact mix of experience, leadership, and reliability that the Raiders need at this moment. There are other names sprinkled throughout the landscape, each with varying degrees of appeal. Nate Sudfeld, C.J. Beathard, Tim Boyle, Logan Woodside, and Ethan Garbers represent additional free agent possibilities, each carrying connections to college programs, previous coaches, or NFL systems that could facilitate a smoother transition into the Raiders setup. These players may not carry the same level of prestige as Tannehill or even Huntley, but they offer familiarity, positional knowledge, and a willingness to play a role in stabilizing the quarterback room. For a team looking for immediate solutions rather than long-term projects, these traits are often more valuable than raw statistics. The Raiders could also explore opportunities through trades or picking up quarterbacks who may be cut by other teams during roster reductions. Players like Anthony Richardson, Jameis Winston, Case Keenum, and Teddy Bridgewater could become available depending on team needs elsewhere. Richardson's athletic upside and raw talent might appeal to the coaching staff looking for a dynamic presence, while veterans like Winston or Keenum bring leadership, experience, and the ability to step in with minimal adjustment. Bridgewater, known for his football IQ and game management skills, could serve as a calming influence in the locker room while providing a capable on-field presence if called upon. Even younger quarterbacks like Kenny Pickett, Taylor Heinicke, and Trey Lance could factor into the equation, though each presents unique challenges. Pickett and Lance have shown flashes of ability, but roster dynamics and team strategy might limit their immediate availability. Heinicke offers experience and a history of executing under pressure, making him a plausible candidate for a short-term, reliable solution. Meanwhile, players like Trevor Siemian and John Wolford may not carry star power, but their connections to current coaching staff and prior system familiarity could give them an edge in competing for a backup role. For the Raiders, these relationships are just as important as pure talent. Understanding the scheme, terminology, and coaching philosophy can accelerate a player's readiness to contribute. In sum, the Raiders are navigating a challenging and highly consequential period in their season. With O'Connell injured, the search for a capable, experienced quarterback is more pressing than ever. From seasoned veterans like Ryan Tannehill to promising talents like Tyler Huntley, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, or Brett Rypien, there are multiple paths to shore up the position. The guiding principle is clear. Whoever steps in must have game experience, situational awareness, and the ability to execute under pressure. Whether through free agency, trade, or careful roster management, the Raiders are exploring every option to ensure that the team can remain competitive and that Geno Smith has the support necessary to lead the offense successfully. As the Las Vegas Raiders continue their search for a quarterback who can step into the lineup and provide stability during Aidan O'Connell's absence, the discussion around potential replacements intensifies. The team isn't just looking for a warm body to fill a roster spot. They're searching for someone who can grasp the offense quickly, communicate effectively with teammates, and execute at a high level under pressure. This is why experience and system familiarity are at the forefront of the evaluation process. The reality is that in today's NFL, the quarterback position is the single most important variable on a team's success, and Carroll's public statements emphasize that the Raiders are committed to finding someone who can be trusted with the football in any circumstance. Ryan Tannehill's name continues to resonate as a prime candidate. Though he sat out last season, his track record includes more than 150 games and 151 starts, providing a wealth of experience that can't be understated. He has shown in the past that he can manage the pace of the game, make sound decisions under pressure, and deliver accurate passes on schedule. Beyond the raw numbers, Tannehill's athleticism allows him to extend plays when the pocket collapses, a trait particularly valuable in a fast-paced, horizontally stretching offense like Chip Kelly's. The Raiders would be acquiring not just a quarterback, but a seasoned professional capable of mentoring younger players and providing a reliable fallback should Geno Smith face any setbacks. Tyler Huntley also represents an appealing option, especially given his mobility and familiarity with handling game situations. Mobility may not be required as a primary characteristic in a backup, but it provides versatility, which is exactly what the Raiders need in this scenario. Huntley has demonstrated the ability to navigate both designed runs and improvisational opportunities, giving the offense flexibility when the defensive coverage breaks down or when timing routes are disrupted. He has 25 games and 14 career starts, which may not sound overwhelming at first glance. But these experiences are concentrated in high-pressure environments where managing the game was crucial. Huntley's skill set aligns with the Raiders' need for a quarterback who can step in without a learning curve and execute efficiently. Then there's Dorian Thompson-Robinson, whose story adds both intrigue and a potential emotional connection to the city. As a former UCLA quarterback under Chip Kelly, he brings a dual-threat dimension to the table, capable of impacting the game both in the air and on the ground. Over his college career, Thompson-Robinson completed more than 10,000 passing yards, delivered 88 passing touchdowns, and supplemented that with a substantial number of rushing scores. The challenge, however, lies in his NFL transition. He has struggled with efficiency and consistency at the professional level, throwing 1 touchdown against 10 interceptions in limited action. Yet the Raiders may view these struggles not as a disqualifier, but as a reflection of systemic misalignment. Kelly's familiarity with Thompson-Robinson's strengths could allow him to maximize the quarterback's potential, tailoring the playbook to his athleticism and decision-making tendencies. Brett Rypien's candidacy is less about statistics and more about coaching continuity. Rypien has worked under Kevin O'Connell and Greg Olsen, and these connections may translate into a smoother integration into the Raiders system. While he has limited in-game experience, his exposure to professional schemes and his understanding of reading defenses could allow him to assimilate quickly. In a situation where timing, chemistry, and play-calling nuances are critical, having a quarterback who has learned from coaches familiar with the current staff can shorten the adjustment period. For a backup or interim role, these factors can outweigh raw talent, especially if the goal is to minimize disruption to the offense while O'Connell recovers. Anthony Richardson represents a more high-risk, high-reward scenario. The young quarterback possesses elite athleticism and has drawn attention for his dynamic ability to create plays under pressure. Richardson's time in Indianapolis has been turbulent, but the Raiders may see untapped potential that aligns with Kelly's offensive philosophy. A player like Richardson could inject an element of unpredictability and explosiveness into the lineup, though the trade-off is a higher degree of inconsistency and potential turnovers. This makes him a candidate for consideration only if the coaching staff believes they can harness his skills effectively and provide structure to mitigate mistakes. Veteran quarterbacks like Case Keenum and Teddy Bridgewater offer another avenue. Both bring extensive game experience and a reputation for being capable backups who can manage the flow of a game without making critical errors. Keenum, known for his ability to stretch the field with intermediate to deep throws, can execute within a structured offense and provide leadership in the locker room. Bridgewater, meanwhile, is celebrated for his football IQ, decision-making, and composure under pressure, making him an ideal candidate for a situation where stability is paramount. Both would likely accept a role as a true backup, ensuring Geno Smith retains his starting position while the team remains protected against injury or unexpected game day circumstances. The quarterback position is the centerpiece of this strategic endeavor, and every decision carries weight. From seasoned veterans with a wealth of experience to younger players with high upside and system familiarity, the Raiders are exploring every viable route. The overarching philosophy is simple: reliability, competence, and readiness trump flash and potential, especially in a situation where the team's success in the early weeks of the season may hinge on the backup quarterback's ability to perform. With Carroll and Kelly at the helm, the Raiders appear ready to navigate this challenge thoughtfully, prioritizing both immediate needs and long-term stability. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers have been circulating in the NFL world for weeks, but now it appears the speculation surrounding T.J. Watt's future has reached a fever pitch. Sources close to the matter suggest that the star pass rusher, long considered the cornerstone of the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, has finally made the monumental decision to leave the franchise that drafted him. The deal, which insiders are calling a mega contract, reportedly positions Watt as one of the highest-paid defensive players in the league. While Pittsburgh fans are reeling from the news, analysts are already dissecting the implications for both the Steelers and the team that secured his services. The Raiders, known for their aggressive moves in free agency, are said to have offered a package that not only guarantees Watt a staggering salary, but also includes incentives and clauses that could reshape the defensive landscape of the AFC West. As details emerge, the media frenzy continues to build, with commentators speculating on everything from the team's salary cap management to the potential locker room chemistry. Watt's departure marks a seismic shift, prompting questions about how the Steelers plan to fill the void and whether the Raiders' gambit will pay off in a highly competitive division. Rumors suggest this move could trigger a domino effect, influencing other free agent decisions league-wide, sparking debates on social media and igniting fan reactions that range from disbelief to excitement, fueling a narrative that has captivated the football community. Behind the scenes, sources hint at intense negotiations that spanned several weeks, with multiple teams vying for Watt's signature, each presenting what they believed was the perfect blend of financial incentive and team vision. The Raiders, however, reportedly distinguished themselves with a combination of aggressive financial structuring and a promise to build around what is the centerpiece of their defensive identity. The details, though still under wraps, allegedly include clauses that reward performance milestones and playoff success, underscoring the team's commitment to maximizing Watt's impact both on and off the field. Meanwhile, Steelers management is said to be grappling with the reality of losing a player whose influence extended beyond statistics, shaping locker room culture and defining the team's defensive philosophy. The NFL community, naturally, is abuzz with speculation about who might fill the enormous gap left behind, with rookie prospects, trade targets, and even veteran free agents being mentioned in whispers across media outlets. Analysts are quick to dissect every angle, from the Raiders' long-term salary cap strategy to the potential ripple effects in AFC West standings, pondering how Watt's arrival could shift the balance of power. Rumors also suggest that Watt's own motivations, ranging from financial security to personal goals and the allure of a new challenge, played a pivotal role in the negotiations, further fueling the intrigue and creating a story that has captured the attention of fans, pundits, and sports writers alike. The social media landscape has erupted in response to the news, with fans dissecting every possible angle of Watt's departure from the Steelers and his arrival in Las Vegas. Viral threads speculate on the impact this mega contract might have on future defensive signings, with some analysts arguing that the Raiders have set a new precedent in NFL free agency, while others warn of potential long-term consequences for the team's roster flexibility. Memes, polls, and opinion pieces flood platforms, often contradicting each other, yet collectively amplifying the narrative that Watt's move is more than just a transaction. It is a statement of intent by a franchise eager to assert dominance. Observers also debate how the Steelers will react, considering the loss of their defensive leader and whether internal adjustments or new acquisitions will be enough to maintain competitiveness. Inside sources suggest that locker rooms on both sides are buzzing with anticipation and uncertainty as players, coaches, and staff contemplate the tangible and intangible effects of Watt's shift in allegiance. The media frenzy extends beyond conventional sports coverage, encompassing podcasts, talk shows, and online forums where every minute rumor is dissected and scrutinized, reflecting the insatiable appetite for information about the deal. In essence, the Watt to Raiders story has evolved into a cultural event within football circles, a narrative that combines the drama of elite sports negotiation with the fervor of fan engagement, creating a whirlwind that is unlikely to settle anytime soon. From a tactical standpoint, experts speculate that Watt's integration into the Raiders' defensive scheme could be transformative, offering new versatility and aggression to a unit that has historically fluctuated in performance. Scouts, and analysts note that his ability to pressure quarterbacks, disrupt defensive lines, and generate turnovers could immediately elevate the team's competitive standing in the division. Meanwhile, comparisons between Pittsburgh's previous strategies and Las Vegas's prospective alignment with what suggests a fascinating shift in defensive philosophy, one that could redefine matchups and alter offensive game plans across the league. Rumors hint at early discussions between Watt and the Raiders coaching staff, exploring schemes that maximize his pass rushing prowess while leveraging his experience to mentor younger teammates. The strategic implications are profound, as opponents may need to recalibrate blocking assignments, rushing formations, and even draft priorities in response to Watt's presence. Simultaneously, speculation regarding contract structures, guaranteed money, and incentive clauses continues to circulate, reinforcing the perception that this is not merely a player acquisition, but a deliberate long-term investment in the team's identity. Industry insiders emphasize the ripple effect on future free agent decisions, positing that Watt's mega contract might inspire similar moves elsewhere, potentially reshaping the market dynamics for elite defensive talent. Amid this whirlwind, fans and commentators are left to weigh every rumor, piece together every leak, and imagine the explosive possibilities that Watt's arrival could generate on the field, both in individual matchups and in broader season outcomes. Ultimately, the story of T.J. Watt's departure from the Steelers and subsequent signing with the Raiders is more than a headline. It is a saga that encapsulates the drama, speculation, and spectacle of modern professional football. Rumors continue to swirl around potential trade implications, locker room chemistry, and the long-term financial consequences for both franchises, creating a layered narrative that extends far beyond the initial signing announcement. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.